ربنا لا تجعلنا فتنة للذين كفروا واغفر لنا ربنا إنك أنت العزيز الحكيم. لقد كان لكم فيهم أسوة حسنة لمن كان يرجو الله واليوم الآخر ومن يتول فإن الله هو الغني الحميد. عسى الله أن يجعل بينكم وبين الذين عاديتم منهم مودة والله قدير والله غفور رحيم. لا ينهاكم الله عن الذين لم يقاتلوكم في الدين ولم يخرجوكم من دياركم أن تبروهم وتقسطوا إليهم إن الله يحب المقسطين. إنما ينهاكم الله عن الذين قاتلوكم في الدين وأخرجوكم من دياركم وظاهروا على إخراجكم أن تولوهم ومن يتولهم فأولئك هم الظالمون. يا أيها الذين آمنوا إذا جاءكم المؤمنات مهاجرات فامتحنوهن الله أعلم بإيمانهن فإن علمتموهن مؤمنات فلا ترجعوهن إلى الكفار لا هن حل لهم ولا هم يحلون لهم وآتوهم ما أنفقوا ولا جناح عليكم أن تنكحوهن إذا آتيتموهن أجورهن ولا تمسكوا بعصم الكوافر واسألوا ما أنفقتم وليسألوا ما أنفقوا ذلكم حكم الله يحكم بينكم والله عليم حكيم. وإن فاتكم شيء من أزواجكم إلى الكفار فعاقبتم فآتوا الذين ذهبت أزواجهم مثل ما أنفقوا واتقوا الله الذي أنتم به مؤمنون. يا أيها النبي إذا جاءك المؤمنات يبايعنك على أن لا يشركن بالله شيئا ولا يسرقن ولا يزنين ولا يقتلن أولادهن ولا يأتين ببهتان يفترينه بين أيديهن وأرجلهن ولا يعصينك في معروف فبايعهن واستغفر لهن الله إن الله غفور رحيم. يا أيها الذين آمنوا لا تتولوا قوما غضب الله عليهم قد يئسوا من الآخرة كما يئس الكفار من أصحاب أصحاب القبور صدق الله العلي العظيم. So, with the access to time, we'll start with the Salam, Haji Al-Moughania. Muhammad wa Muhammad sallallahu
صلى على محمد وآل محمد. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم، والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ونبينا وحبيب قلوبنا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد. وعلى آل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين. الحمد لله رب العالمين. الحمد لله الذي جعلنا من المتمسكين بولاية سيدي ومولاي علي بن أبي طالب. الحمد لله الذي هدانا لهذا وما كنا لنهتدي لولا أن هدانا الله. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. In the name of God, the most beneficent, the most merciful, we ask Allah to again send His greatest peace and blessings upon Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Praise Allah for all the blessings He has given us, and the greatest blessing being that He allowed us to be of the ones who remain steadfast, dedicated, and loyal on the path of our Master after the Prophet, the Commander of the Faithful, the Prince of the Believers, the Protector of the Prophet and His message, Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam. We praise Allah for this blessing and every blessing. Without Allah, we would have nothing. Assalamu alaikum, my dear respected elders, my dear respected brothers, my dear respected sisters. Wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Just a small request from my brothers. There's some more room in the front. Everyone can just scooch up a little bit to the front. Allow for the room in the back as well. God bless you all. By the way, when I see people closer by, especially when I'm not wearing my glasses because I'm nearsighted, can't see you when you're far. So if you're closer by, I'm going to do a better job. Alright, so you're helping me out here. Sallallahu Muhammad wa alihi. You and I will continue to face challenges every single day of our lives. You go to school, you can't wait until you're done with school. You start your first job, you can't wait until you get through that introductory stage. You can't wait for the next raise, you can't wait for the next opportunity. You can't wait, for those who are not married, you can't wait to get married. For those who are married, stay married. You have a family, you're starting, you got married, you can't wait to have kids. You have more kids, you can't wait to have your kids grow up and have kids of their own. We're constantly looking at what's the next thing that's coming in our lives. We're constantly looking at what's the next phase, the next thing. And we're losing sight of what's now. We're losing sight of the blessing and the bliss that exists right now, right before us. Our kids want to grow up too fast. Us, we want to just get to the next thing. It'll be better then. I'm done, it's going to be a lot better. But we're forgetting about what's right now. We're forgetting about what's right in front of us. Now, you and I, brothers and sisters, tonight, I want you to come out with this framework. The past is something out of your control. It's history. The past is something that is done. I'm not saying to ignore it, but I want you to acknowledge it for what it is. You have no control anymore over that past, over what was done. But you do have control over how you let that past interact with your present. Now the future that you're looking forward to as a young man, as a young woman, you're looking towards the future and what's to come. You also don't have control over what's to come. Its knowledge is with God. The only thing that you have control over is what's in front of you right now and how you interact with the now. Right now, I have no control. As loud as I am, as calm as I am, no matter what I may utilize in rhetoric, in passion and motivation, I have no control over you. You listen, you don't listen, you're distracted, you're not distracted. I can't control that, no matter what I do up here. But I can control me. I can control what I say, what I do, how I feel. Even though at times you may be put in circumstances where people offend you, people disrespect you, people hurt you, intentionally or unintentionally. You can't control other people, no matter how close they are in your life. But you can control how you react, how you engage, how you interact with the circumstances that are around you. Today, my dear brothers and sisters, we have many challenges in our society. Our families are under attack. Our children are being targeted by forces that maybe we're not even aware of. And I'm not here to scare you. I'm not coming from Detroit, from Michigan to come and scare you. You guys are scary enough. But what I'm coming to do is make sure that we're in the same state of awareness. Our children, our families, they need us. What are we doing to protect our children, our families? What are we doing to make the generation that is coming up, my young brothers, my young sisters, what are we doing to make sure that they're better off than we were? I'll tell you one of the things that I'm doing as a young parent. I have 2 children. My daughter Jalal is 6. My son Ali is 3. As soon as there was a spot open in my local Islamic school, I enrolled them. As soon as there was a spot open, as soon as I could take both of my kids into the Islamic school, I put them there. Why? Some may ask, well, how are the academics? How is the trajectory with regards to what they plan on for middle school and high school? I told them, listen, that's all great. And I come from a background of educators. My mother is an educator. But I said, I have an immediate goal that I need to take care of now. And that is my children need to be in an Islamic environment. The whole day, who are they spending their time with? When I came to the Al-Khoei Center, and I saw that big sign for the Islamic school here, that Hadi school, correct? Oh, that's a different center. Sorry, guys. Al-Iman Center, right? I was testing you guys to make sure you knew the name of the school. Those are the people that have their children enrolled. Al-Iman School, when I came and I saw that there's an Islamic school here, I was happy. It's like, man, the community has something that, by the way, a lot of communities do not. MashaAllah, you guys have a community, pretty large one. In Michigan, we have a pretty large community as well. There are communities across the country that don't have the resources that we have. Now, we all have our challenges. I'll tell you, we all do. Trust me. No community is absolved of challenges. We all have challenges. And we all have things that we need to improve on. Every center, every school, every community, every family. as things that they gotta work on. Let's work on them together. How about we do that for a change? How about for a change, you and I, instead of waiting for the person to leave, man, you don't know what's going on with this guy, man. You don't know what she's doing. Man, their family problems. You know this guy and this center and this lady and this place. That's not us. That's not the akhlaq of Ahlul Bayt, the followers of Ahlul Bayt. We're better than that. We're better than waiting for an opportunity to look down on one another. We're better than that. You and I, we belong to the greatest spiritual heritage that the world has ever seen. You belong to Muhammad wa al Muhammad. You belong to the great loyal companions of Ali ibn Abi Talib. You belong to Al-Hassan wa Hussein and the sacrifices that they gave to honor La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. You belong from the far lands of the East, from India and Pakistan, from Iraq, Iran and Lebanon. You belong from Afghanistan and the rest of the countries that we all may hail from. You belong from countries of the East and countries of the West. You belong here in the United States of America. You belong to a spiritual heritage. No matter where each and every one of us comes from or doesn't come from, you belong. Here together, we're family. I don't care if you're from Hyderabad, India or Hyderabad, Pakistan. I don't care if you're Iranian, Pakistani, Afghani, Lebanese, Iraqi, Arab, non-Arab, American, non-American, Western, non-Western, Eastern. These are all labels. Labels, by the way, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us as what? A blessing. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Surah Al-Hujurat, what? إِنَّا خَلَقْنَاكُم مِّن ذَكَرٍ وَأُنثَىٰ وَجَعَلْنَاكُمْ شُعُوبًا وَقَبَائِلًا لِتَعَارَفُوا. We've created you, male and female, and made you into nations and tribes so that you get to know one another. I get excited when I see people from different backgrounds. I don't start thinking, how different are you from me? No, I get excited, especially in what? When I see the lovers of Lady Fatima alayhi salam from different backgrounds. In all of our languages. In all of our languages, in all of our colors, in all of our spices even. Do you see the beauty in that? Embrace one another. Take one another. The trust that you have with a fellow believer is in that. The belief, in the faith, in the wilayah. You are a lover of Ali. Do you know what that means? You're a lover of Ali. That means you are what? You are a loyal follower, servant, admirer of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alihi. Meaning what? You worship none other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Tawheed is your ultimate destination. Tawheed is what you're trying to protect. I tell you, each and every one of us, when we're practicing the rituals of Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam, from the shedding of your tears to the pounding of your chest, your azadari is what? It's a testament to protect La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. Subhanallah. You, when you're coming forward, please know the value that you have in providing your service to Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam. This Quran that is recited, it is protected by the tears that you shed. This Quran that is recited, it is protected by the pounding of your chest. This Quran that is recited is protected through your memory of the tragedy of Al-Hussein, of Al-Hassan, of Ali and Fatima. Don't neglect that. It's not this or that. It's this and that. Al-Thaqafi. Kitabullah wa 'itrati. This and that. We as the followers of Muhammad wa al Muhammad, we are committed to this and that. We are on the path of truth. And those who disagree, those who will call you names, those who will say, you don't belong, those who will say, you're odd, you're strange, what are these things that you bring? It's okay. I want you and I to be strong within, so that when we go out into the world, we don't antagonize, we don't attack, we're not here to fight with anyone. Imam Sadiq alayhi salam tells us, كُونُوا دُعَاةً لَنَا بِغَيْرِ أَلْسِنَتِكُمْ. Be a call unto us without your tongue. What does that mean? That demands you and I, my dear brothers and sisters, with all of the challenges that we have in our society today, the Shi'i, the follower of Ahlul Bayt, is one that does what? He or she is a model citizen. He or she is successful in all parts of their life. He or she as a mercy to those around them. What does that mean, to be a mercy to those around you? That means you're the best neighbor. You're the best colleague. You're the best classmate. You're the best person in your city. You're there for people. How? Why? Where do we get this from? We get this from Fatima alayhi salam. We get this from Ali alayhi salam. We get this from Rasulullah. Fatima alayhi salam. You know how she raised her children? I started off the very beginning because I couldn't help it. I couldn't help but think about our children, our kids. Because if we're not thinking about our kids and we're not acting on it, you can complain all you want about the conditions of our society today. But you and I, we have a responsibility. Forget the centers, forget the communities, forget everything that's going on in the world. You have a responsibility to your kids, your children. Even if, by the way, even if they're not paying attention when they come to the center, bring them to the center. It's okay. It's okay, bring them. Have them sit here. Have them absorb the environment. I'm not going to test my brothers in the corner, don't worry. At the end of the lecture, I'm not going to test you what I talk about. You're here, God bless you. Stay here. It's okay. Sometimes, by the way, we have the children may disrupt a little bit, especially the younger ones. They want to get them out of the hall. No, keep them here, please. I see the kids, I see my kids. Please keep them here. Where are they going to go? Lady Fatima alayhi salam, when she would pray in the night, Imam Hassan alayhi salam would watch his mother. He'd watch her. Observe her. I want you to know something. Your kids watch you. Yeah, I'm exposing your secrets. Your kids watch you. And by the way, to the older siblings, they watch you too. They watch you too. Your kids watch you. Imam al-Hassan alayhi salam was at this time about 5-6 years old. He was watching his mother Fatima alayhi salam in the middle of the night praying. And he sat close enough so that he can hear her in her prayers. The whole night, Imam al-Hassan is just sitting nearby. And by the way, you may be thinking, man, 5-6 years old, and he's sitting nearby and he's up. Yes, this is the Imam, but guess what? I'll tell you, our children, man, if you just pay enough close attention and you treat them not as children, but you treat them as the brilliant minds that they can become and that many of them actually are, you'll be blown away. Imam al-Hassan alayhi salam listens to his mother, what she's praying, what is she saying, what is she saying, what is she doing, who is she praying for? She finishes her prayers. He goes to his mother, he says, Ummah Fatima, my mother Fatima. She says, yes, my dear, yes, my beloved. I watched you and heard you, listened to you praying all night. Not once did I hear you pray for yourself. Not once. She smiles and she tells him, my son, al-jar qabla al-dar. The neighbor before thyself. The neighbor before yourself. You and I, sometimes we have challenges with our own siblings, our own family members. Lady Fatima is telling you, be so caring for those around you. Even think about your neighbor before yourself. Why? Is it that Lady Fatima alayhi salam was just teaching us, listen, no self-care. Don't take care of yourself. Neglect yourself. No. Lady Fatima alayhi salam, when she was praying, the entire universe and its angels were praying for her sons, praying for her daughters, praying for her family. Lady Fatima alayhi salam, my dear brothers and sisters, she established for us in such a short period of time. Now, scholars of history may differ on when the birth of Lady Fatima alayhi salam was. Was it 5 years before the Ba'tha or 5 years after the Ba'tha? Regardless of what you're looking at, Lady Fatima alayhi salam either died, was martyred at the age of 18 or 28. Regardless, it's a very young age. Very young age. In this short period of time, Lady Fatima alayhi salam gave us a university of how to conduct ourselves, how to live. I want you to carry tonight, inshallah, in the musibah, in the majlis, when we're reciting, we're going to cry. That's evident, inshallah. Those tears, by the way, they're blessings for you and me. Lady Fatima is not waiting for you to cry. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not waiting for you to give Him your prayers. We need those tears. We need this azab. We need our prayers. It's for us. That's it. It's very simple. When you're calling out, by the way, when you're calling out, whether it's through tawassul, whether it's through istighatha, whether you're saying, Ya Allah, by the right of Muhammad wa ali Muhammad, or I'm saying, Ya Ali, Ya Muhammad, Ya Zahra. Either way. Whether you're doing this or that, whether you're asking for shafa, I have a question for you. And by the way, I'm not here to prove a point. I'm here to share love. I'm here to share prayers. I'm here to share blessings. You want to take it? Beautiful. You don't want to take it? You're being stingy to yourself. That's it. Muhammad wa ali Muhammad, they're here for us for what? To keep moving on our way. When you're sick, do you go to a doctor? Yes. Do you ask the doctor for a treatment plan? Yes. Do you ask for medication? Yes. You go to the pharmacist, do you get that medication? Yes. Why? What do you mean, why? How am I getting it's flu season, the virus is going around, I need my antibiotics. No. Why would you do that? Go directly to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Why are you doing istighatha with the doctor? Why are you asking the doctor for help? What's wrong with you? Go to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah is the healer. When you go to scholars, you go to jurists, you go to a marja, you ask them for your religious obligation. Deduce the religious ruling for me. No. Why are you going to them? Don't go to them. Go to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala هو العالم, هو الحكيم, هو المعلم. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who teaches us. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has all of the knowledge. Why are you going to anybody but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? My dear brothers and sisters, do not be fooled. Do not be fooled by those who have tried to strip Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alayhi with his status that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given him. Do not be fooled by people that say, I go directly to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Your prayer itself is what? Is a tool, is a tawassul to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Your prayer is an adat, is a tool, is a way to God. Your fasting is a way to God. Your worship is a way to God. Otherwise, just say, listen, I'm just going to sit here and be with God. Connect automatically. With what? Do you not need words? Do you not need thoughts? Do you not need a prayer? You and I, if we really want to dig through and see in our history who has infused us with doubting the relationship, whether it's tawassul, whether it's istighatha, whether it's shafa'a. Look and see the root of all of that into our faith. I mentioned it briefly yesterday with regards to Madrasat al-Ra'i, the school of opinion, as opposed to Madrasat al-Nas, the school of text, which is the madrasa, the school of Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam. Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam is Al-Quran wa Sunnah. Sunnah being the tradition of Rasulullah. What did Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa do and not do? Do not be fooled with those who are pushing us in a direction of, listen, Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa Ahlul Bayt, they were good people. We use them as examples. We use them as role models. Yes, beautiful, great. But don't shortchange your relationship with Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam. Do not make Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa a mere, wal'iyadu billah, a mere mailman. A mere mailman that gave you his message. Because unfortunately, my dear brothers and sisters, in history we had individuals that wanted our Prophet to just be that. You gave us the Quran, hasbuna kitabullah, we're good. Have a nice day. Don't be duped. Don't be fooled. And now, don't go, I'm not going into intentions, I'm not going into motivations, I'm not going into conspiracies, I'm not going into any of that. But the aqeedah of Muhammad wa al-Muhammad, the aqeedah of Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam is simple, it's pure. Don't shortchange yourself in that relationship with them, who ultimately are what? That pathway, the ship of salvation. Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alayhi said, Al-Hussein, minni wa ana min Hussein. أحب الله من أحب حسين. He said, أنا وعلي أبوا هذه الأمة. Hussein is from me and I am from Hussein. Allah loves those who love Hussein. Ali and I are the fathers of this nation. Fatima bid'atun minni. Fatima is a part of me. Whatever angers her angers me. Whatever angers me angers Allah. Why did the Prophet emphasize these relationships? Which, by the way, are available so clearly in all of the books of history and hadith. Why was there an emphasis on these relationships? Why is it that the Holy Prophet ﷺ emphasized in Ghadir Khum? Stop! Everybody stop! You can't go home! Narrations say anywhere from 30,000 to 100,000 people were there. Why did they stop them in the middle of the desert? To do what? To emphasize what? To emphasize what? That you should just take these people as examples? Or to emphasize that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is to be worshipped, His oneness is to be acknowledged and realized through these individuals, Al-Quran and Ahlul Bayt. Now, you and I, when we're meeting the challenges of our day, remember I started off with the school, and then talking about our different ethnic backgrounds and our nationalities, right? Now let's look into the future a little bit more. Who here is a resident of the great state of New York? Okay. What? Okay, not the great state of New York. The state of New York. Like, I have doubts about that. Listen, I'm trying to praise you guys. State of New York, excellent. Who here is first generation New York? First generation. Who here is second generation, meaning your parents came here before you? Second generation. Listen, if you're only going to participate in this is what you participate in. Second generation. Beautiful. Who here is third generation? Any third generation? We have some third generation? Are you sure? Excellent. Beautiful. Now, I want to share something with you. A look into the future. Who here is from, originally your family is from Pakistan? MashaAllah. Who here is originally from India? MashaAllah. Hyderabad. MashaAllah. Who here is originally, stay with me. Who is originally here from Afghanistan? MashaAllah. Okay. Lebanon, Lebanon, MashaAllah. It's my people. Iraq. No Iraqis here? What? Sayyida is just, participating. Your grandparents, did they plan for the first generation? Your grandparents, did they plan for you to be in the great state of New York or the okay state of New York? Did they plan for it?
No.
No, they didn't. Oh yeah, your grandparents. Your ancestors that came from this line, from all of these beautiful countries that you hail from, did they plan for us being here? I'll tell you for me. My grandfather came to the United States in the late 70s. He almost came to New York. My grandmother told me the story because I asked her, I'm like, Tata, why did Jaddu al-Hamu, may Allah rest his soul, why did he come to Michigan? She said, he was thinking between New York and Michigan. I said, well, why did he choose Michigan? So, well, his main consideration at that time, this is the late 70s, at that time, was, though he was not necessarily a very religious man, but he feared God. He feared God. And he thought about the short period of time that he was planning to be in America. Because he was planning to come. Inshallah, when the civil war in Lebanon would end, it would go back. That was his plan. Jiddi Abu Ali, Allah yarhamu, he died in America. His family stayed. They went to Michigan. Why? My grandma, Sitte, she explained to me that he chose Michigan because there was an Islamic center, a mosque. And there was a sheikh. May Allah rest his soul, Sheikh Muhammad Jalal Shirri. He was building a community. There was some action taking place. And that for the followers of Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam, they had a place to go to. So that was his decision. Subhanallah. His decision impacted his children, his grandchildren, and his great-grandchildren. My children have him to thank because of one decision he made. One decision he made. The trajectory could have been different. At that time, it was crucial. And he made a decision based on faith. Based on being God-centric. No matter where you are in your journey towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you may say, I'm not religious. I'm not multazim. I'm not really that. And I'm trying. It's okay. Wherever you are in your journey, wherever you are, all of you here are better than me. All of you, 110%. You're coming, you're shedding your tears for Lady Fatima alayhi salam. You're coming and mourning and dedicating yourself to her memory. Oh man, you're great, you're amazing. I salute every single one of you. All of my sisters, all of my brothers. All of you. But know the impact of these decisions, of being God-centric, faith-based, and purpose-driven. You may make one decision in your whole life that has an impact on generations. My children are at the Islamic school of the Islamic center that my grandfather came to Michigan for. And you know where all of this comes from? Sometimes we make decisions. We think maybe we're the ones really making the decisions. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, through His altaf, through His grace, His kindness, He pushes us in one direction or another. My brothers and sisters, we have narrations from Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam that tell us, supported by verses in the Holy Quran. If the denizens of the heavens and the earth want to move a servant of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, want to raise him 1 degree, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not want him or her to be raised, he will not be raised. And if the denizens of the heavens and the earth, every single thing in the universe, wants to take to lower you. Even a degree, a small little thing. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants you to be raised. Nothing will take you down. Nothing. Have faith in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Have faith that He's going to carry you through. And make the decisions in your life based on Him. Take that with you. So that inshallah, not only will you see blessings in your lifetime, but those blessings are going to go on to generations to come. Our grandparents may not have thought about it. Maybe they did. But you and I, let's think about it. Let's think about the Shia community. The Shia community in the United States. The American Shia community. You and I, all of us, bring us together as what? You here locally, you're all New Yorkers. Anybody here from New Jersey? Get out. We're all here as a community. And you know, across the country, we're a community. You and I, we belong to the American Shia community. 50 years from now, our children, our grandchildren, yes, we want them to be proud of their roots, of their ancestors, that they all came from the countries that they came from as immigrants. But so long as this is our home, and we have a responsibility to keep it the home of our children. You and I, we have a responsibility. Wherever we are, we have a responsibility to making it home. So you and I, can we connect with one another? Can we hold on to each other's hands? Protect our community here, because this is home. You belong here. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. You belong here. As soon as you start doubting yourself, you lost. This is home. My grandfather, your grandfathers, your parents, my parents, you, me, we fought to be here. Don't let anyone take that from you. Don't let anyone take that from you. From New York to California, we belong here. If that's our choice, make it your choice. If you want to belong somewhere else, make the choice. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created this wide earth for you and me. Wherever you want to be in the world, for you and me. We made this decision to come here. Make the decision to stay. Build. Build. We're not nomads. Build. From New York to California, hold each other's hands and be that support for one another as the Shia community. In the love of our Lady Fatima alayhi salam. No matter all of us, all of this diversity that we have from one another, all of the marajah that we do taqleed of, all of the backgrounds that we come from, all of the differences in opinion, maybe half of what I spoke about tonight you disagree with. It's okay, I still love you. And you're my brother, and you're my sister. And I will protect you, and I will always have your back. Will you always have my back? Will you always have each other's back? Yes, that's what we're built on. With our disagreements, we have each other's back. When you see a Shiite, you have their back. When you see a Muslim, you have their back. That is our strength. In the love of Muhammad wa ali Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Is it possible to dim these lights? That's fine. Sallallahu alaihi Muhammad wa ali. Now we come, my dear brothers and sisters, in this final night of these 3 nights that we've been mourning. You know that we already are anticipating the tragedies that will run through our minds and in our hearts. Let that tragedy play out. For what reason? for the reason of, Ya Zahra, I've come to you asking you by your right with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that your tragedy must be remembered. Your tragedy must be honored. You cannot be forgotten, Ya Zahra. And I pledge here tonight that I will never forget you, Ya Zahra. So please never forget me. I will never forget you and your son, Al-Hassan. I will never forget you and your son, Al-Hussein. I will never forget you, Ya Zahra, and your daughter, Zainab. Remember Karbala, that you and I come to remember every single year. On the day of Ashura, you remember Zainab. Zainab alayhi salam. She was the manifestation of that day of her mother Fatima. Now come with me to the last days of Fatima alayhi salam and the morning of Amir al-Mu'mineen and his sons and his daughters upon Fatima. If I tell you this tale of sorrow, will you lend me your hearts to borrow? If I tell you this tale of sorrow, will you lend me your hearts to borrow? Will you shed a tear for Zahra? Will you remember the pain of Fatima? If I tell you this tale of sorrow, will you lend me your hearts to borrow? Will you shed a tear for Zahra? Will you remember the pain of Fatima? If we stay here tonight until tomorrow, will you bear this tale of sorrow? Sing here to Zahra's story, a story of heartache and glory, a story of heartache and glory. Amir al-Mu'mineen, Ali, Al-Hassan, Al-Hussein, Zainab, Kulthum were around the body of Lady Fatima. Imam Ali alayhi salam is holding his children as they wail and cry, calling her name, Ummah Zahra, Ummah Zahra, Ummah Zahra, Mother Fatima, Mother Zahra. Up and speak to us. Imam al-Hussein at the feet of his mother, calling her name. Ummah Zahra, ana Azizik al-Hussein. I am your beloved, your dear Hussein. Speak to me. Imam al-Hassan, Lady Zainab, calling at the sides of their mother, calling, Ya Zahra, speak to us. Brothers and sisters, I wish to take you in just this brief moment, as al-Hussein would call upon his mother, Zahra, on the day of Ashura. Lady Zainab would go to Imam al-Hussein before before he would enter the battlefield, she would tell him, Mahlan, Mahlan, ya ibn al-Zahra. Before you go, O son of my mother, I have something to give you. Imam al-Hussein turns to Zainab. She hugs him, she embraces him, she kisses him on his neck. Remember the neck that was kissed by Rasulullah. Zainab then turns to them and she raises her hands and she says, Amma Zahra, I have returned the trust to you. Imam Hussein, he tells her, Ya Zainab, what trust is this to you? She tells him, do you remember when our mother Fatima died? Do you remember the last days of her life? He says, yes, I remember. She tells him, oh Hussein, my mother, before she died, she gave me a hug and a kiss. But she told me, Ya Zainab, this hug and kiss is for your brother Hussein on the day of Ashura. Lady Zainab was just a child, but she remembered on the day of Ashura to give her brother Imam al-Hussein this hug and kiss from their mother Fatima. And Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam, it was as if in those moments they would begin to remember their mother Fatima and the tragedy that she faced. He would tell her, تذكرين أم البتول والضلوع المكسرة. Do you remember the broken ribs of our mother Fatima? On the day of Ashura, Lady Zainab would continue the memory of her mother Fatima, because when Imam al-Hussein would go into the battlefield, would fight the enemies of Allah, and when he would finally fall, and Lady Zainab would go down, and the dust would settle, and the enemies of Allah were surrounding Imam al-Hussein. They would make way for Lady Zainab, and Lady Zainab would sit with Imam al-Hussein. Arrows had filled his body, he was bloodied from head to toe. She would tell him the same thing that they told their mother Fatima. Kallimni ya Hussein, speak to me, my brother Hussein. But Imam al-Hussein would not respond. She said, by the right of our grandfather Rasulullah, speak to me, Ya Hussein. But he would not respond. Ya Aba Abdullah, by the right of our father Ali, Kallimni, speak to me. But he would not respond. She would say, by the right of our mother Fatima, speak to me. And Imam al-Hussein, in his broken heart, he would tell her, Ya Zainab, you've cut my heart to pieces with the memory of our mother Fatima. The memory of our mother Fatima. My dear brothers and sisters, have patience with me as this is our last night together and remembering Lady Fatima. Imam Ali alayhi salam was doing the washing of his beloved lady Fatima, washing her body. Asma and Imam Ali alayhi salam were preparing her body for burial. They say Imam Ali alayhi salam, as he was running his hand upon the sign of Our Lady Fatima, Imam Ali alayhi salam, they say he would move away from the body suddenly. He would go into the ground. He would go onto the floor. He would place his head between his knees and begin to cry. Asma would tell him, Ya Amir al-Mu'mineen, what has given you these tears? Is it the aching of your heart for the loss of Fatima? Imam Ali is crying. He brings Al-Hassan wal-Hussein next to him. Sayyida bin Kulthum, as their father is crying, they are crying for their mother Fatima. He tells her, Oh Asma, the loss of Fatima has broken my heart. But what I felt in these moments is something that breaks it further. I felt the broken ribs of my wife Fatima. I felt the bruises on her body that she had hidden from me, not to break my heart while she was alive. Imam Ali alayhi salam, he mourns his wife, his beloved Fatima. Do I call out, Ya Zahra, or do I call out, Wa Muhammadan? Do I call out, Ya Fatima, or do I call out, Ya Rasulullah? My brothers and sisters, with your tears, as you're sitting, I wish to recite a few words, and with me, pound your chest very simply. Very simply. I want you, when I point to you, to call out Ya Zahra. With me, Ya Zahra. جود عيني بالدموع والدماء قام جبرائيل ينعي في السماء يا زهرة يا زهرة يا زهرة يا زهرة يا زهرة يا زهرة Let the souls weep, let the tears flow, let the grief show. Our hearts cry for the daughter of Muhammad. Our hearts cry for the daughter of Muhammad. Ya Zahra, Ya Zahra, Ya Zahra, Ya Zahra, Ya the pain that Ali felt when he lost you? What was the pain that Ali felt when he lost you? Broken your ribs, blackened your skin, cracked your lips. But you told him not to worry as you left him. But you told him not to worry as you left him. In the sorrow, in the sadness, you still pray. In the sorrow, in the sadness, you still pray. Gave us all hope, showed us all strength. You did say, I will go back to my father, to Muhammad. I will go back to my father, to Muhammad. Ya Zahra, Ya Zahra, Ya Zahra, Ya Zahra, Ya Zahra, Ya Zahra. I will call your name forever. For my heart beats and my blood flows in your name. For my heart beats and my blood flows in your name. Our children, our sons and our daughters, our children, our sons and our daughters, they live for your name. Ya Zahra, 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 Ya Zahra. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept the little that we offer in remembrance of our Lady Fatima alayhi salam. All of our sick ones, all of our ill ones, all of us have needs, all of us have people that need our prayers. We need prayers. Let us take the blessings of this gathering. In remembrance of our Lady Fatima alayhi salam. I have ill ones. I have people that are close to me that need prayers. They need your prayers. You have ill ones. You have people that have needs. Ya Allah, by the right of our Lady Fatima alayhi salam, cure our sick. Ya Allah, by the right of our Lady Fatima alayhi salam, fulfill our needs. Ya Allah, by the right of our Lady Fatima alayhi salam, give all of our members of our community, our families, everything that they ask, Ya Allah. And for the believers that have asked us for prayers, including Sayyid Anwar Abbas Naqfi, including our sister Hikmat bin Fatima, including our many young brothers and sisters who need our prayers. Let us recite Surah Al-Fatiha for them, for our marhumeen, and give them the blessings of this gathering. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Bismillah. Please join me in a small Moughania in memory of Sayyida Fatima.
Would the chorus please join me as well? It's a Sallallahu Alayhi Fatima. If no one else will mourn you, I will mourn you alone. Your broken ribs and your burning home. All is love and so less of you is known. The tablet and the pen attest to you. The secrets of secrets rested with you. Allah from the throne sends blessings on you. Ayah after ayah came in your name. Sallallahu alayhi Fatima. Sallallahu alayhi Fatima. Sallallahu alayhi Fatima. Louder. Sallallahu alayhi Fatima. 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 How did the door to heaven fall victim onto the flames? How did them look at you with no shame? How they raised their voice and said your name. Alhamdulillah, as much as the pain. Alhamdulillah for my every pain. Alhamdulillah, you gave me Hassan. Alhamdulillah, you gave me Hussein. Sallallahu alayhi Fatima. Sallallahu alayhi Fatima. Sallallahu alayhi Fatima. Sallallahu alayhi. Louder together. Sallallahu alayhi Fatima. Sallallahu alayhi Fatima. Sallallahu alayhi Fatima. Sallallahu alayhi Fatima. His silence spoke. Indeed, we gave you the Kauthar song. Pray to God and sacrifice a soul. Surely the burden one is your foe. To a road to Allah is enrolled. The hope for the hopeless struggles to hope. His cheers with tears only twice they were soaked. In sajda and when watching your beloved. Sallallahu alayhi Fatima. Sallallahu alayhi Fatima. Sallallahu alayhi Fatima. Sallallahu alayhi Fatima. In the corner, weeping, we saw you with your broken ribs. How will you tell your children this? How will you stand up and pray? Did you bury her on Medina's plains? Did you bury her Baytul Haramain? Did you bury her on Medina's plains? Did you bury her Baytul Haramain? Hey, the replies holding heavy pains. She's buried in the hearts of the mu'mineen. She's buried in the hearts of the mu'mineen. Sallallahu alayhi Fatima. Sallallahu alayhi Fatima. sallallahu alayki Fatima, sallallahu alayki. Louder together. Sallallahu alayki Fatima, sallallahu alayki Fatima, sallallahu alayki Fatima, sallallahu alayki Fatima. Sallu ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad.
وعجل اللهم في فرج المولى صاحب العصر والأسر والزمان. السلام عليك يا رسول الله، السلام عليك يا أمير المؤمنين، السلام عليك يا خديجة الكبرى، السلام عليك يا فاطمة الزهراء سيدة النساء العالمين، السلام عليك يا حسن بن علي المجتبى، السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله، يا حسين بن علي الشهيد بكربلاء، السلام عليك يا علي بن الحسين زين العابدين، السلام عليك يا محمد بن علي الباكر، السلام عليك يا جعفر بن محمد الصادق، السلام عليك يا موسى بن جعفر الكاظم، السلام عليك يا غريب الغرباء، السلام عليك يا أبا الحسن يا علي بن موسى الرضا، السلام عليك يا محمد بن علي أتقي الجواد، السلام عليك يا علي بن محمد الهادي المكي، السلام عليك يا حسن بن علي العسكري، السلام عليك يا حجة بن الحسن القائم المنتظر المهدي يا صاحب العصر والزمان، السلام عليك يا شريك القرآن، السلام عليك يا كامل الكفر والطغيان، السلام عليك يا دافع الظلم والعدوان، أجل الله تعالى فرجك وسهل الله تعالى مخرجك. السلام عليكم جميعا ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم حجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرزك طوعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. I would like to request that the men stay here for a few more minutes and the ladies would like to show. Let's wait for the ladies to exit and come on the next.